Okay. So as always, start with a little idea. I can see what I'm thinking. I can see what I'm feeling with my emotions. I can sense my body and see or hear its urges and needs and such. But what is the aspect of me that can see these things? Because that's where we enter into the realm of awareness. And mindfulness is simply turning our attention to our awareness instead of our mind. So it's a misleading label. Mindfulness is not about developing the mind. It's about becoming aware of it and its traps and how to step out of that. So for just a moment, just take a look in there. How is it I can see what I'm thinking, feeling, what my body's up to? It's pretty cool. How's that work? Okay, so just looking at what, among other things, we can call our true self today. Lots and lots of labels out there, and the teaching is only pointers. Unlike intellectual teaching, mindfulness teaching is like, take a look at that. Look at this. What's going on inside? What's going on in me right now? Not what I think about it or what I learn from a reading, but right now. Oh, all right. My brain wants to think about this right now. Okay. It's an okay time to do this, so I'll let it. The biggest component or both a problem and very powerful gain from mindfulness is learning my brain doesn't run me, I run my brain. My emotions don't run me. I can run my emotions, and likewise with the body. But mostly that's a long-term and often futile effort, because our brain and emotions and body are very loud. And we have, however many years we are, of habit of listening to them. And not only listening to them, but giving them our power, saying, all right, brain, figure out how to save me. All right, emotions, how do I feel about this? I'm asking them, how do I feel about this? Wow. Well, I've had 28 different emotions in the last hour about this. Now I'm going to use my brain and try to sort which of those 28 feelings is best or real, and round and round it goes. And I'm pretty sure all of us have spent time in the chaotic tornado of our mind, emotion, and bodies. Mindfulness suggests there's something else. And that has been called the true self, our being. In the spiritual terms, it may be called something like the Christ self or higher self, whatever word turns us on, that's okay. But mindfulness is not about thinking about that some more or defining that label better. Mindfulness is, oh, so what is that in me right now? Oh. It's strange because we always want to use our brain to find something or get information and understand something. Awareness in us exists outside of the brain. in my model of mindfulness, it actually encompasses all the three aspects of mind, emotion, and body. It's bigger than all of them. It contains all of them. And if I learn to just hang or turn to my awareness, it can transform and begin to teach me, I'll say, how to manage those other parts a little bit better. That living from our awareness is what I would say is our true self. That is like a new home base. I can learn to go there and then come back to my brain and emotion and body and its needs, looking at it rather than just reacting to what it's screaming for or begging for. The true self has some characteristics that many teachers for the last 5,000 years have pointed out. I mean, I often reference the Tao and Buddha and Christ all talked about aspects of our true self if we're looking through the mindfulness lens. It likes to just be. It's just happy. Okay, here I am. I don't need to do anything, prove anything, accomplish anything. I'm great because I am. I just exist. That's its baseline of existence for the true self. It has a kind of peace, not as we often think of that word. We often think of peace as maybe the quietude here at Community of Peace on a good day. That's peaceful. The kind of peace in our true self is behind that, but it's more like, fuck the whack. Wonder what's going to happen with this. But it's okay with the experience going on. That's its peace. It's not demanding that it be any particular way. And with that peace, it has a curiosity. And even animals show this, just pure wonderment, curiosity, fascination. That's part of its nature. Another attribute of it is it sees in beauty. Things are just beautiful when we're in our awareness. The same old coffee cup on the floor that's just ignored, suddenly, the beauty's not in the cup. The beauty is in how I'm seeing. And when I go to my awareness, when I remember to see beautifully, I see beauty everywhere. So that's another aspect of it. It's a cool thing. What else does it do? As Buddhism is big on, it sees or relates to the reality with compassion. It's got a natural desire to relate that way. What's going on for you? What's going on with this? Whether it doesn't have to be a person or even a living thing. It's a natural desire to relate with understanding to creation around us. And the last attribute that I really emphasize in my teaching, because it's a key for the practices to use mindfulness, is in awareness, this true being state in us, it always wishes well, equally for me and everyone involved. So it's looking out, and it's like, yep, that's pretty messed up. Yep. But it's like a natural desire opens in our heart. I don't care how much of a jerk they're being. I don't hate them. I don't want to punish them. I don't want vengeance. I want this to change to be better for everybody. It's like that energy is released in us to flow. And I believe, personally, that is the energy of creation. That's how we can release it to flow through us. That's how the power of love actually moves through is when I can clear a space, step into my awareness and say, yep, this is friggin' crazy, my brain's crazy, my emotions are crazy. How can this be better for me and all involved? I've opened myself up to the creative source of my life, the source of creation, perhaps, if you believe such things. And but by that one key orientation into my awareness, I wish you well, I open the channel for that power of creation to move through me. And to me, that's just such a cool thing. And I say it's a key because when I am not feeling so much at peace, or my brain's driving me crazy with a topic, or my emotions are, I can say, all right, let me get back to my awareness, my true self. Am I there? Because the brain will tell us, oh yeah, I'm being peaceful now. Or our emotions can say that and they're lying. But I look, do I wish you well? Do I wish myself well? Mm-hmm. It's like a test of whether I'm actually sliding into my awareness and out of my brain and emotions. So that's why I offer that as a key. So the very core of mindfulness reduces to a very basic practice, which is applied in 10,000 forms and will be applied for the rest of our life because it's never finished. Mindfulness is not about enlightenment. It's perfectly okay to seek enlightenment while you're being mindful, but be aware of the difference, because mindfulness is being aware of what program I'm choosing to run instead of getting inside of my programs and now they run me. Oh, I'm obsessed. I got to attain this. I got to do this. I got to whatever. I'm inside of the program and I'm not in my true self and being aware of how I'm choosing to use this wonderful vehicle in this crazy adventure. So the very basic practice is, number one, I need to remember I have awareness and I can go to it. And it may sound silly, but you know, when I first started my seeking at around age 30, I'd go to a group and, oh, this is stuff so wonderful, yes, and I got my little workbook, and I'd go home and lay it down, and the next time I looked at it was on the way to group next week. I could completely forget for a whole week that, oh yeah, there's this other stuff I was going to explore. So step number one in the practice is remembering I have awareness and I can go to it, and it might even help me with this. Step two is what I call beginning to choose. So I remember I have it. Oh, I could go to my awareness. No, I'm enjoying being pissed off. Damn it, screw that awareness crap. Or, no, this fear is necessary. I need to be anxious right now to protect myself. All those kinds of thoughts will come up. And they can be pretty thoughts too. Oh no, they're way too cute to think about awareness, and yeah, it may probably deconstruct my life again if I go after them, but yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, you have all these excuses or reasons to not go to awareness. So I say beginning to choose. This step two can take anywhere between a fraction of a second and years. I have personally been through issues that took months before I could sincerely get to step three. And step three is saying, yes, I want to get to my awareness and let it help me come to more peace or whatever. I really want to get there. And I make a choice I feel in my heart, different than trying to willfully make that choice in my brain. So step three is when I decide, yes, I want to turn to my awareness, and work with this through that. And step 4 is opening my mind and asking it to help me. It's a huge step. It may not seem like it initially. We're so used to letting our brain make our decisions and solve our problems. To open it up and instead to say, all right, brain, it's okay. Take a little break. You can think again in a moment here. And asking something else to help me. And for me, that's also the opening of the bridge to what we might call our soul, or to, in my case, the Holy Spirit of my belief, how it can get in here to help me. I'm inviting it in through that opening to my awareness. So that's my little summary. I always like to give my little model before we get going, to get the words at least in the same book, if not on the same page. Any thoughts, sharing on this so far?
Have you ever heard of archons?
Again?
Archons?
No.
Archon?
I've seen the word, but I don't know what that is.
So, archons is a concept. I think in practicing like my own mindfulness, I've learned to not trust a lot of my thoughts, because a lot of my thoughts come from outside, they don't come from like within. And archons are basically these spiritual entities that don't have like the soul or the life that we have, so they suck ours. They do energy harvesting. Have you heard of that term? Those are basically the beings that do all the energy harvesting. I literally just read a post about it on Instagram before coming up here, which I find ironic. I'm half tempted to go get my phone and just read it out to you, but it's kind of long. But yeah, like mindfulness for me has been very much figuring out where my thoughts are coming from and not identifying with them, where my emotions are coming from, who's provoking this emotion and who's it feeding, where's it going. Like paying attention to where your energy and attention is going is definitely a mindfulness practice. That's very difficult to keep in mind. Because yeah, someone will say something, then I'll get really angry about it, and it's like this archon is feeding off my anger, and if I can like be aware of that and know that, I can calm myself down and be like, why am I overreacting? This isn't a big deal. It's really not. Like, why am I so angry? So just kind of keeping in mind, like, there's a spiritual plane that a lot of times people are not aware of that's controlling them and manipulating them. So I think in really learning to master your emotions, master your mind, you just have to be aware of the spiritual warfare going on constantly in our society, in the matrix, in cities. I mean, it's super prevalent in cities. It's not as bad out in the country, thankfully, but yeah, that's, I don't know. That's what I'm sure. Definitely. Do some research. I think you'd find the whole concept of archons pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that concept. I didn't know the word for it. Yeah. And again, I give this simple practice that I just did, because no matter what we find, it's about choosing to step out of it.
Right.
And that's what mindfulness is about, developing our ability, however we're given practices or experiences even, to see things in here and out there. How do I get back to my awareness and make a sane decision and move forward with life? So my job in this group is that constant reminder, all right, it doesn't matter what I see or understand, the action is, how do I get clear of it? And let me go to work on that. Now I can look at it and examine it even better, because when I'm looking from awareness, the thoughts or the belief or the force is not yanking me all around so much. Another trick to this is learning, it's okay if my brain and emotions and body are a mess. Give up the idea of nirvana with the perfect brain, body, and emotions. Just give it up. I mean, it's a great goal if you want to set it out there for 10 lifetimes from now. But if I get upset because I'm upset, damn it, I'm angry again, see, I compound
Right.
myself. So a lot of my days of peace, if somebody had those little electrodes on me like they do with brain scans and heart scans, they'd say he's not at peace, he's friggin' nuts, look at him go. But behind it, I'm in that space I talked about. Yeah, man, this is so crazy today. Let's see how this goes. You know, well, part of my brain's just wanting to scream at the same time, or curse, or run in fear. So there's a step we can learn that's very useful is, yes, long-term growth in awareness tends to bring more peace to our mind, emotion, and body. But it's not a magic instant thing. Once in a while it is, and that's so friggin' awesome when that happens, you know. There's been a few times I've really turned, I really need some help, and I would feel this wave of peace come through me. Oh, thank you. But that doesn't happen every day for most of us. Remembering it is nice, you know, okay, I can take some more of that, but all right, there's my brain and emotions going off again, or my body. How can I be most aware and proceed lucidly with my decision making and my actions I need to do for my life right now? You know, I can't wait for this all to be pieced out or healed. I'll spend my life waiting on, you know, in a cave on the hillside or whatever. And some like that. That's okay too. That's really what you want. But most of us have other things we want to do while we're walking around in this vehicle. So give up that if you ever had it, or you hear people tell you, yes. It's one of the downsides I hear from Buddhism as a religion, not Buddha, but the religion is, oh, you can learn to master your mind and keep it in peace. They're using willpower. And if you look on the faces of some of them, they are so strained, holding their mind in peace. And it's like, I don't want that.
That doesn't feel peaceful to me.
Not right.
Because I've tried Buddhism, and,
Yeah.
and that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like an effort, and
Yeah.
it's not pleasant.
So, good, thank you. So that's why I also relist my attributes of my true self. You know, it's like, oh, I just exist. Yep, crazy brain and all, here I am. Look at this, wow. You know, and it's fascinating, I'm curious. Yeah, that's the true self. And isn't this wonderful, this crazy mess? You know, so we can develop our own identifiers for our true self. And it'll be different for everybody, you know? But developing a habit of remembering, oh yeah, I could be back in that crazy place in my mind that can think everything is wonderful while this is going on. It's crazy, yeah, but it feels better. You know, it's like mindfulness has to become very personal. It can't be learned from another teaching in the end. Pointers on the way, yes, they help me remember. They may point out, oh yeah, when this or that happens, that's an episode of mindfulness you experienced. Oh cool, I never thought of that. And I now clarify my own awareness. See, that's why I use the word pointers rather. I don't learn a concept. Well, whenever the white chicken spins in circles, I get happy. Now I gotta carry the white chicken around with me all the time to be happy. You know, that's a concept, that's a belief. Whereas the pointer, why did that make me happy? That's curious, huh, okay. And I'm looking in here at how I'm experiencing. Oh yeah, I'm in my true self. It sees beauty and wonder. I want to know, I want to learn or practice at getting back to that space that loves the spinning chicken. See the difference between a learning and an experience. And with growth in awareness, we accumulate experiences, not concepts. We get more and more little portals we find in ourselves to get back to our true self quicker, more often. Maybe can hang out there a little bit longer. And that's it. It's a lifetime adventure. That's why Lao Tzu called it the way, a way of living for the rest of your life. It's not an end, it's not ever done, but then you find other crazy people to share this adventure with, and all the fun and fascinating things that come to us for our adventure, but I feel things way more than I can describe them, so that's why I pause sometimes. This community, to me, is an example of more aware living. And here, you can feel the peace, the safety of the openness of this space. And everyone comes and brings some wonderful aspect of being with them. And they see all the other wonderful beings. And this is an outward expression of what we're hoping to grow with inner awareness growth. You know, it's a space in us we cultivate that holds this idea of just living in this awareness it enjoys life, even when it's crazy. And so we grow, we practice if we want. Thoughts, questions?
I love how you said the word wonder, because it's a new thing that I'm trying to work through is, my beliefs are not an absolute truth. So, however I see something isn't the only way to see it. Like with the coffee cup, right? It's like, okay, that's a coffee cup, I think it's for coffee. But someone else will put a flower in it. Oh, I never thought of putting a flower in it. You know what I mean? So now, like, I question myself on anything that I'm feeling strongly about, because there has to be another way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I have to be open to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's really like what I've been sitting in lately, is everything that I'm believing is a story, is an experience.
Yeah.
But 8 billion other people have experienced it a different way. So I gotta open myself up to how other people are experiencing things. So therefore I get more experiences and I'm not closing myself off.
Yeah.
And just walking in a detrimented way, 24/7.
Yeah.
So in anything I do now, like I'm like, is there a different way? I ask my why. Why am I thinking that way? Is there a different way to do it that I haven't thought about? Is a different perspective.
Yep.
And just not believing what I believe is the absolute truth. And it really opens up wonder
Cool.
when I do that.
That's one of the core
Yeah.
things, yes. I mean, a whole other topic we would do alone, but the idea, when I'm in my true self, I'm in extension. Who are you? What's going on for you? What's this? Versus when I'm in my fearful brain or emotion, I'm in contraction. Who are you? You gonna want something from me? You gonna take something from me? When going off of Michelle's thing, if I have my idea, which I do about everything, I pretty much have an idea about everything. It's called prejudice, and we don't recognize it. But it's like, no, that cup is for drinking coffee. Get your damn flowers out. I'm contracted. I've moved into contraction, and I've made the other an enemy. Well, that in turn changes my whole body chemistry. And, I think everyone here knows those things. Once we go into contracted defense mode, the body's not in healing or repair mode. It shuts that down. It's ready to fight or flee or whatever. And essentially, every moment I'm in contraction, I'm diminishing my life, the quality of my life. Because I'm just now running my thought and judging them and wanting them to be different, and they're not going to change. And I'm in battle mode. And we are taught, basically, by society, parents, religion, everything, government, to stay in that fear mode, to stay in battle mode, and you can never just relax and say, hey, who are you? What do you think about this? What's going on? Because I'm not afraid when I'm in my being of what you think about it. I don't care if you support Donald Trump, you know? I certainly don't need to agree with their thoughts, but I don't have to be upset and close down my extension, which is what lets love flow through me. So yes, that's a very important part of the process, is learning to see where I do that. I look at others to examine, what do you believe? What do you think? Because you might be my enemy. You know? And it's a huge, huge part of what our brain does. Like most of the day, with most things and most people. It seems impossible that all of that could ever be transformed. And a lot of it won't be transformed. But I can get much better at seeing it. And when that comes up, it's like, okay, there's Mr. Judgy. Let me step back. And now I can look through it and say, what's going on for you? What do you need? What do you like? Oh, really? You know, and again, I'm back in my true self, at least partially. Yeah, so, yeah.
One thing that just came to my mind is, I feel like I had this conversation with one of my sisters one time, but whenever like you're kind of in battle mode, to like get into a higher perspective, like an eagle eye view, and see it as a chessboard, and kind of see yourself as both black and white fighting each other, and it's like it's just myself playing a game with myself. And there's all these black and white squares, but in reality, from top to bottom, like it's just a big game board, and we're kind of moving our pieces around, like just to have that kind of perspective, and not see yourself as the black against the white or the white against the black. You just see the whole game for what it is and what's actually going on in reality. So,
Cool.
yeah, that's kind of an easy analogy
Yeah,
for me to
it
like,
is.
get out of battle mode.
I'm feeling more than I have words, so I'm going to try and express. But a lot of what my life has been a constant trying to figure out what is going on with me. And I've had a lot of people say, and I've been wrong for many years, and it caused a lot of damage. But anyway, so my understanding right now of CPTSD and trauma recovery specifically, especially how it then influences the physical body, which happened to me over the decades, is that I love what you said, where it was like, you don't have to master this thing. Like feeling the things is normal, because that's what we're told, is that I was told, you know, this is a disease, your brain overreacts, or your brain sees things that are danger that are not. And I'm learning it's not that black and white. There's a reason that it's telling me there's a danger. There is something that happened to me from that exact trigger. And so for me, it's slowing it down and letting myself feel it, but not letting it feel it too much. It's always a balance, because either growing up as a necessity, I either had to feel nothing, and then eventually it would pile up and I would collapse. Exactly. So now it's recognizing the importance of both and saying, all right, what are you trying to tell me here? What's going on? Okay. And then I challenge a little bit, like, okay, well, I don't think this is going to kill me. But when you give it that space, and it's been a lot, the last week especially, has been a lot of just letting my body feel things that it never got to feel. So I'm feeling things from decades ago, and it's not necessarily pleasant, but it's just I'm giving myself space for my body to express these things.
Process it.
It's a lot. So that really resonated with me, where it was like, you don't have to master this. The emotions are fine. They're normal. They're healthy. They're good.
Everything in here, the most crazy program or most erratic emotion, as she said it, is there for a reason. At some point in our experience, we allowed it or created it, however that works, because we needed to respond to something where we didn't have any other choice. So whether we were being outright abused, or whether we were terrified by something or deprived of something, whatever. So none of them are enemies. And when they come up with they look crazy, they might feel like they're an enemy, even to ourselves. Self-destructive thoughts can come up. It's like, okay, and as she said it, why are you there? And I open it, but I also keep it here on the side, because if I go into it, now it has control of all of me, and I'm a mess, or whatever it is that takes me over. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So it's so important we learn that they're not enemies, and crazy as they may seem, like, okay, what are you about? I'll wrap this up with the last thought of, I'm a very big believer in transformation. I call it transformation rather than growth or healing for my own reasons. I'll explain. When I open to my awareness, I believe that also opens me to the Holy Spirit in Christian terms, and I get help. And I have seen some crazy packages of thought, emotion stuff in here get changed. And yes, what it was for, to see a danger or a lack, was a true thing. Now I can see that danger very calmly, in a sense, and clearly, and just say no and don't go there, or don't accept it any longer. So if you would, I always like to give a thought for the week. Wonder, how can awareness, my awareness, transform this in me? Instead of trying to suppress, get rid of, or remaining afraid of what's in me, say, oh, look what I got here today. Wow. Come on, no help, please. And in a few cases, I've seen things just dissolve rather than transform, because they were no longer of any use. Most often, I see the energies transform, so now I have a way to use them with my extension, open in love, to deal with, or to help out there. And once in a while, something will come up, and I'm like, oh no, that's weird. And it says, no, you're fine. You've only been told that's weird by other people. You're perfectly fine. That's an okay desire. That's an okay interest in life, So, you want to spend half of every day sitting in the woods talking to toadstools and the snails on them. That's fine. Instead of, you need to change. You gotta, we've been told we have to be this robot to fit the system. You might be surprised at what your own awareness will tell you very happily. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Chill. Be you. Thank you all.
Thank you.